Resting tree, patience and stillness. See if I can get that without glare. Patience and stillness. And in this illustration, we see this woman just kind of looks like she's laying down in a cave and is resting. And the calmness of the water is very peaceful. So, you know, life hands us a pretty busy plate because not only do you have to work, you have to take care of your own needs, your own responsibilities. So if you have a family, then that adds to the extra things that your mind has to deal with. And so, you know, the resting tree and patience and stillness, it may seem really challenging in life to find time to be quiet or to be still. So to the extent that you can meditate and do some mindful meditation each day, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, anything would be helpful for you to find that stillness and to find the peace of mind and the quiet to kind of recharge your head and to recharge your brain. Particularly for families with children and a lot of activities, you know, it's having to work in partnership with your family and perhaps your mate to say, look, I'd like to carve out some time to be able to do this. I'd like to be able to have my little quiet place where I can meditate, where I can sit calmly, where I could just close my eyes and relax and not have to think about anything. There are other ways to facilitate patience and stillness, and that would be perhaps, you know, putting on some headphones and listening to some guided meditations. Before you go to bed or something, you know, just put your headphones on, lay down, listen to some wave music or ocean music or whatever it is that you like. If you like to listen to rain there are many apps that have these programmed music that you can listen to that helps you relax, that helps you find some stillness. And, you know, you could, if you have time, you could go to a church or a temple that provides meditation. Where I live, we have one, and it's the Tara Brock, I believe is her name. Every Wednesday night conducts meditation, insightful meditation for everyone. So there are a multitude of things for you to try to rest your mind and to find stillness so that your mind has time to bounce back. Because within 24 hours of a day, some people sleep maybe 6 hours, 7 hours. If you're lucky, you get 8 or 9 hours. But in that time when we're not asleep, we have a go, go, go lifestyle. So take a moment to treat yourself well and to regenerate your mind, and that's to create calmness, to create a place of rest. I think that ultimately has a long-term benefit for you. So there are many options here of how to create stillness, to be patient with others, but it's really your own quietness and the resting trees, giving yourself a time out. So when it comes to spiritual self and emotions and what's going on in how we process things emotionally and within our heart center and our chakras, let's see what we have. What can we learn for spirit for next week? And this card says Dream Talk. Your subconscious constantly and subtly speaks through your dreams. It's just one of the many ways in which your soul and those here in the spirit world can reach out and communicate with you through signs, symbols, messages, and more. So listen to your dreams. It reminds me of the high priestess, of taking time to acknowledge and to think about what comes through your subconscious and dreams. And there are many people who have dream journals and write down and think about the symbolism or the events or the people that turn up in your dreams. And, you know, dreams are always the darndest thing. It's you never know who's going to show up. And it's like, wow, I can't believe I had a dream about that person. What's that about? And it's a nice way to reflect on really what's going in, going in your mind from deep down, the dream sense. And there are, I'm sure, many YouTube channels that focused specifically on dreams. So if you wanted more information, that would be a great way to access it. And then there's the group of people who don't remember their dreams. So I don't know what the advice is for that, but I often don't remember my dreams. Sometimes I do, and I remember them vividly. So I'd be curious to hear from you if you remember your dreams, or is it just once in a while that your dreams come through? I think that our dreams speak very loudly to us. Our dreams speak very clearly about events and the energies and vibrations of our life. And, you know, it's the last dream that I recall was just about a week or two ago, and it was about, I'm a teacher, and it was about the first day of school, and I didn't have my class list, I didn't have their names, I didn't have their desks set up, and it's just that panicky type of dream, which is anxiety and anticipation of a new school year and not being ready, and it happens every single year. So I'm sure I'll have a few more of those as time goes on, but, you know, dreams are fascinating, and you can always write down, today I dreamt about my grandfather, today I dreamt about my mom and I were doing this, or it could be a mundane dream, it could be whatever it is important to you, and it is unique to you, and it's something in your subconscious that is coming through. So the lesson for next week is to pay attention to your dreams. And if you recall your dreams when you wake up the next day, just write them down as soon as you get up. You know, get a piece of paper, write them down. So let's take a look at body for next week, of something that we can focus on for our body for the week of the 23rd. And today is a new moon, and that's pretty exciting. And then the new moon's going to lead us into, on August 21st, the Great American Total Eclipse of the Sun. So it's going to be very thrilling as time marches on. Okay. Sobriety. So this is about, thank you for adjusting my cravings in healthful directions so that I only desire life-affirming foods and beverages. Let me see if I get that up here. So, sobriety, and this is self-awareness. There's some prayer here in this illustration. This is awareness of the cravings and the habits that don't benefit you. So if it's in terms of your diet, and that you don't pay attention to your diet, you don't follow or eating vegetables, plants, and getting your daily allowances, you know, it's short-term pleasure, long-term folly, because ultimately you're going to pay that price with your health and you're going to have to ultimately at one point have to deal with it. So, getting a handle on nutrition, getting a handle on alcohol or any other substance abuse, there's only so much time that you have on earth, and when you put the things that you probably shouldn't be eating, it will impact you. So, sobriety, it's a big thing of discipline. It's really hard. And for those of us who have a sweet tooth, or for those of us who maybe like to eat French fries more than we should, my logical mind says don't do it. But my emotional side wins that battle and says, oh, it's just one day. Life is short, eat what you want. And it's a really tough thing to get a hold of, to say it. I don't need this. This isn't helping me. When I overeat, or if I overindulge, I have too much wine the night before with my friends, I pay the price next day. And it is a balance to be found. And you have to find moderation. You have to live with moderation. And so if you're eating fries every day and McDonald's, I think there was that movie by Morgan Spurlock about what happens to you when you eat McDonald's every day and what happens to your body. By the same token, I was just reading something that if someone is enjoying, a Diet Coke a week, and people kind of like shame you because you're drinking a Diet Coke and that's terrible, there is a sense of moderation. And probably a Diet Coke a week, it's not going to kill you. But if you're drinking a liter of Diet Coke a day, then that's another matter. That's excessive. So with sobriety, it is checking in and paying attention to your cravings and to your actions and how you treat your body. And, it takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of self-control and willpower to be able to make changes, and particularly for those that smoke. And I know because my father smoked a pack and a half a day. He tried everything to quit, and it was a real challenge. And it ultimately paid a price with him with cancer. So, to the extent that you can look at yourself and reflect and to think about what you need to improve. And again, when it comes to sobriety, when it comes to changes and improvements in diet and approach, making wholesale changes of jumping in, that is really a big change. Maybe it's one small thing a week to do, one small aspect of your diet, of your exercise, whatever it is that is impacting you that you can improve upon. And, life-affirming foods, life-affirming water, and green juices, whatever it may be, to fill your body with good nutrients that are going to allow this vessel of ours to live longer and to live healthier. So, weekly focus for next week. Okay, so let's take a look at just kind of an overall theme, perhaps, of what's going on, of what we can take to our hearts and minds. Suppression. Suppression. Look at that illustration. This is the Osho Zen deck. And by the way, I will link to my website that features all of these decks. Suppression. So to feel suppressed, it really causes restriction in your life. It causes you to feel sad, to feel unloved. And it's a matter of taking emotions perhaps and just squashing them and shoving them down, deep down into your recesses, and not not giving them a voice. And again, in terms of health and of connectivity, the suppression that we do on a daily basis of putting away the upsetting things, it just creates a little black spot in your heart and your body, and it's hard to get out of. So really, how do we deal with suppression? Is to talk things out, is to your friends, to your loved ones, to your husband, wife, mother, father. It's to, if you're upset about something, to talk through it, to journal through it, to write an article perhaps, to see a therapist. But to suppress feelings or to suppress desires, it really takes a lot of energy to do that. And so how would I structure this for next week? I would think that I think what makes sense is to, if something is bothering you next week, and if something is upsetting and you're kind of like not looking at it, not wanting to deal with it, take a courageous step perhaps and sit down and talk to someone who can be impartial to you and can give you some good advice. If you get it out and if you speak it, then it reduces its impact. So I think that that's what I would say with respect to suppression, is that we all find ways to bury the unpleasantness in our lives, and it accumulates. So if you can talk to someone honestly and hopefully without judgment coming from them, to say this is what's going on, or this is really, I've not been happy the way that you've been treating me as a friend, and getting these things out and working through them and acknowledging them versus keeping them deep within your body and your mind and your soul and your heart. Okay, so a practice area, and this is a lovely oracle deck. This is, I believe, The Soul's Purpose, James Van something. I'm terrible with names, so I'm just going to see what we have for next week. Change. I understand that nothing can grow or evolve without movement. And change to practice. I would see it relating directly to cravings and diet and exercise. What could you do to change, to improve how you treat your body, or to improve how you treat your emotional self? Maybe there's one day a week that you can find the time to practice yoga. And if you're unable to leave the house to do so, you can easily go on YouTube and find some yoga videos, or you can find some mindful meditation, or you can put on some music to relax. But there are many, many ways to do one small piece to change and to improve what's going on in your life. As they say, the only constant in life is change, and through change we do grow and we reflect and we modify and we keep moving forward. We change when it comes to technology. We change in how we communicate with each other. We've gone from writing letters to emails, and now emails sometimes are too much for people, and they simply text and they don't call. And I'm sure that you, like I do, have several friends who don't want to be called. They simply want you to text them. So it's a evolving piece of life, is that we keep changing. For you, what can you change next week? Will you be able to have some time to rest and to catch up and to appreciate stillness and to invite that stillness into your life? Will you be able to write down and think about and consider your dreams and perhaps what your subconscious is trying to tell you. Will you do something to improve one small smidgen of something that is probably not healthy for you? Like passing by the McDonald's or filling up your water bottle and getting enough water for the day. And just instead of saying, I've had enough water, have more water. Are you able to have some opportunities to let things go and to bring things to the surface versus keeping them deep down inside? So there's so many ways to incorporate change. So things that I will take to heart is clearly through sobriety, clearly with finding more time to be quiet and to practice stillness. Dreams a little more challenging for me, but I will pay attention to it, and I'm going to work to change, I think, related to cravings and sweets and things that I do too much of. So I hope that you found something helpful here, and I hope that you have a fantastic week next week with all of these elements: mind, body, spirit, life in general. And if you enjoyed this reading, please like, comment, leave me a comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. I appreciate your time. Thanks so much, and I will see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.